13.
No, so this is super
Good, because I know more about that.
Because that was the best part. How, were you real? Did they bronze? I mean, did they spray you with stuff to bronze you, or did they just CGI it or green screen it?
No, that was an actual bust of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool to know.
They built it. They built it. I remember.
No, they haven't.
I like
It's
like
kinda-
they had an extra one. They asked me if I wanted to take it home.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, my wife would love.
Yeah. Honey, I'm not available tonight, but I've got.
No, I don't have any. I don't have a lot of pictures of myself. I don't want to be one of those actors. You go over their house. There's like pictures of all of no. They had. I remember I was on a show. It was a Declan Horn thing. What was the name of that show?
Wedding band.
Wedding Band. And they had. Gene's heard all these stories like a million times.
I love listening to your stories.
What?
I love listening to your
Okay, bless your heart. They had a huge portrait of me, and it was
Where
like
did it go?
Oh, that's what we
tall.
want to know. What
Yeah,
happened?
what
to
happened?
that?
I have no idea. They said
I
they said take it
actually
home.
asked them.
They said take it home. It would be great. And again, I was like, I can't. My wife would burn that.
You should take it.
Why would you burn it?
You don't want your husband's huge freaking. Come on. Like I wouldn't want her
No.
huge picture of me up in my house.
You
It'd
could
be
have
so
auctioned
weird.
it and paid for your niece's college education.
I keep doing that. I should just take.
We could have shared it.
There's a guy that steals all of his
You
costumes.
get the arm, you get the leg. Is that
No, we just
Oh,
you
you
get it
just
for
charge
a month and you get it for a month.
Okay.
There's a guy, Joe Pantoliano,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Joey Pants, and he always steals his costumes and he sells them on eBay. It's like it's a side business for him.
It's not just him though. There's a lot of people that do that,
Can't do that.
or pieces of it.
Well, they do auction your clothes.
Yeah, because I've seen those little
Yes,
cards.
they do.
Well, it's theirs. It's
Yeah.
not my clothes,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
Well, but
you know?
you're wearing
But
them,
the
and
fact
that's
that you
but I
wore
mean, like,
them.
That's what I've
Owning
been told
it.
by some of the people at DTS. They're like, but if you get number something, I'm like, I don't understand. I'm sorry.
I gotta go shopping. I hate shopping.
Me too.
And
I don't
too.
go.
and like I have when I go to work usually they dress me. So
They dress
like
you.
I don't really have to buy clothes that often.
But you
and
don't
I'm
get to
down to
keep
like
them.
just I got nothing. I got rags at this point. I gotta go shopping.
Well, ditto.
You look
So don't feel
right.
bad. Because my sister had to drag me, and I was just like, nope, don't like it. Can we go now?
Whenever
No.
I go to the mall, I always think what's this in Mockingjay, you know, the Catching Fire, the Central City, what's the name of it?
Yeah,
Pan I always think I'm there.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Wait,
Have you
And
ever,
it always seems
have
obscene
you ever
to
gotten
me.
physically ill by walking into the shopping mall?
I get pissed off.
Oh yeah.
I just you know everyone
I
I don't
actually
know.
did-
I'm a judgmental person. I'm just like consumerism is like my touchstone. Like I just think it's eating the whole world.
I
and
did
it's
actually have to
the
go find a
violence.
trash can to throw up in once. I hate it that much.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Oh. Anywho, on to happier things. I got 215 million on Resogun last night, so I'm very proud of myself.
Hmm?
Just saying.
It's a video.
I can't. Nobody understands this. That's really hard
That's
to
a hard
do.
game
That
to
puts me
play.
up in the world of Resogun people.
Yeah,
so
that's really hard. That's when I
it
like
relaxes.
RPGs. I want
I
those
was like,
people.
I wanted to wake up Sullivan. I got 200.
My son does that actually
Really
TikTok to me because he's just been invited to play tournament level. I don't know what game it is because I don't ignore it, but he rushes in at 1 a.m. Mum! Mum! And I
Oh,
get up at
it's an
4
honor
a.m.
though.
for
No,
work.
seriously, that is an honor.
And he's 22, he's not
Wow.
a child.
It's
Oh,
like
wow.
it's hard. It's hard to even like close.
I don't have time to play that often, so I can play one game at night, you know, and so I get one chance. I've promised myself you don't play. If you die quickly, just turn it off, go to bed, got stuff to do in the
And you
morning.
can stick it out.
But last night I got in. Oh, it took 20 minutes. I was like,
I get obsessed. You know, like people are like, no.
my wife keeps saying, but it's not real. I'm like, it's real. You can touch it. PS4, it's right here. You can touch it.
It exists in the physical universe.
Exactly. It's
The way of life
electrons
for a
going
lot.
around. It's real. Television's right there. The controller. It's real.
I get upset this day. Everyone's like, what's wrong with you?
Like I'm excited for Oculus Rift to come out.
Oh,
because
God, yeah.
I was at a convention in Knoxville and NASA was there, and they had me put on the Oculus
man.
Rift and look at their new satellite. And so I'm floating above Earth, you know.
Yep.
And it occurred to me that when Oculus Rift comes out, my marriage is over because my wife's going to come home and I'm going to be like, yeah, honey, I'll be right with you. Ah! You know, and like there's no way you're gonna respect
No, you have to
anybody
get her
that's playing
involved.
it.
That's all. You just have to
She
get her.
won't be involved.
Oh,
Was that thing that you got inside?
never mind.
No, it's just like
No,
it's just,
just
it's
like
these
the pit-
glasses, and
glasses,
it
yeah.
completely is a 3D immersion.
Okay.
Wherever you look,
It's not
the
like
game
Google
is right
Glass.
there. So you're in the world.
Okay.
But you're completely taken out of the real world. Like
It's-
if
it's
I'm
almost-
gaming and someone comes home, I'm like, I'll be right with you. But if I'm in Oculus, I'm just going to be like, and you know, I'll be Stevie Wonder. So I'm going to lock myself in a closet to play Oculus, and I'll have to lock the door because if anyone sees Dad in a closet, you know what I mean? Like it's going to cause some real problems. I think they're going to have to make.
Tripping hazards or.
Yeah, they're going to have to make the Oculus
They'll have
closets.
to schedule
Unintended
time.
consequences. Marriages will be breaking
Yeah,
up.
they'll just, no, they'll just schedule.
Hi!
I have a question.
Oh my God!
And you didn't think we saw you.
Were you taking another nap?
I closed my eyes, took out my contacts for 30 seconds, and I was like,
Again?
You gotta stop sleeping.
You have to use a different
they're glued
excuse.
to my eyes.
Don't you have a.
You have to use a different excuse.
Okay, I will. Can I join you, James?
Please!
Okay.
Talking about Oculus Rift. I'm out. I have no.
I'm sure you've been doing fine all by yourself.
Oh, I don't know about
So you
that.
were hoping no one noticed you.
You got all of these beautiful women, and then there's you.
I know.
Oh, and
Drink.
Okay, and then, of course, I know you got Sean. I'm fine, brother. How are you?
James, Caprica. It's that, or what they were doing in Caprica
Uh-huh.
after they whatever did to Battlestar Galactica. That's what you're talking about. Only now it's real. It's the
Yeah.
glasses, and she goes into that new world, and then she doesn't want out. But you know, she splits her personality,
Mhm.
so to speak.
Yep.
Although it's
She just climbs into the game.
exactly, yeah, that's what the game reminds me of. It's like I, you know, what happens if you don't want to come out? You know,
That's-
are you like?
That's the trick.
That's
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm like, I can kind of see your wife going.
There's a great book called Ready Player One about this
Yeah,
exact thing.
there,
I'm
yeah.
getting yelled at by one of my coworkers that I haven't read that yet.
It's really, it's
It's-
good. It's a good quick read, and it's
It's in a pod.
better
right
than
now,
candy.
Because none of my stuff is at my house. It's in a pod. But yes, there's an
But
audiobook.
you know what? Give it a year. They're making a movie out of it, and you'll just be able to watch the
They're making a movie out of it.
That's not true.
Spielberg.
Books and films do not.
No, he said
cross over.
Spielberg.
You've got to read the books before you do it.
Well, they're different. They're different.
Yeah, they're not the
You
same.
can't compare it. Yeah, I like to say that that the movie was not as good as the book because it didn't have this part in it. It's like they only have an hour and a half. It takes 9 hours to read a book.
What are you doing?
We're talking about anything but supernatural.
Anything but supernatural.
Anything but supernatural.
That is the
Well,
panel
yeah,
topic today. Anything but
Anything
supernatural.
but that.
We have a
great.
problem.
About
You're an
bacon
alpha
if you want.
vampire, so is he. So you've got. Like,
Yeah, there we go. Next.
You're, that I mean, right
I defer to
there.
James.
Yeah, right there. It's kinda
I got nothing.
Vampire
well, you could do a vampire show together, which would be great since I've seen neither. So that way,
I
I
would
could
be
start-
open to doing that, but it would have to be done the right way.
There we
yes,
go.
I've heard from the DTS group it has to be within 7 years and it's too late.
Uh-huh.
Is that what you said? Damn.
Well, now that we have, like I said the other day, now that we have skin tightener, you know, we'll do some camera tests to see how it works out. You
So
know?
that's how we. Okay.
You don't have to play Spike. It could be a different vampire.
No, he has
no,
to play Spike. Even though I'm a newbie, I'm sorry. I've seen like two.
I don't know. I prefer the darker hair over the blonde.
Yeah, I do too. Though. I saw the blonde and I thought, who's that person? And I'm watching just the one that's the singing one, the once more one more time. Sorry, okay, that one. Newbie, sorry. Anyway, and I watched that and I'm like, that's like, oh my god, that song is amazing. It's like an amazing. And I'm like, wait, and I pull out my Ghost to the Robot and I'm like, the hell is this? Like, wait, no, it's the same. That's James Marsters. And they're like, my daughter's looking at me going, where have you been? I'm like, I haven't ever seen him, but why is he blonde? He's like, he's been that way since the beginning.
Vampires are hard though. I remember after doing Buffy for years, I was like, I can't wait to do a human being who could trip. Like, did you have this too? Like everything's got to be kind of perfect because you're supposed to be kind of like this
this
heightened
awesome
character,
supernatural being.
Yeah, but you're actually
Well-
like a real actor in 3D, and it's like I'm
Exactly.
just a goof.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I agree. I think.
It is
I mean, you
fun.
played a vampire much longer than I did. I did 2.5 episodes in Supernatural, but he's the first vamp ever in the
My
world,
phone won't
and so
fill.
he's ancient.
yeah.
And it was
It doesn't do
such
that
great
again.
fun that I just loved it so
My
much.
OMS
But then, after
I don't
I
wanna take
finished,
it off.
I thought I would be returning in season 8, and the motherfuckers never called me. So, but there was always this like, you might be coming back.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
Yeah, you know. And then my next gig was I was a father of a witch on Vampire Diaries.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I played Bonnie's dad, and everyone said, "You're going to be on Vampire Diaries?" I said, "Yeah." And there was like a lot of buzz on the internet. And then, "Are you going to be playing like another vampire?" I'm like, "No, I'm playing the father of a teenage daughter. This is just a regular guy." You know. So I kind of enjoyed being able, as you to say, to trip and make mistakes and be a human
Well,
being.
just because like for a vampire, I don't know, like everything's got to be kind of a straight line as far as objective.
Yeah.
And I like my favorite actor is Meryl Streep. Because she just dances.
Right.
She's just all this stuff is going on in her head. But when you play a vampire, it's just got to be like, hello,
Yes.
I'm going to do this now.
Yes.
And I wanted to get back to that. I remember we used to, whenever we went to the graveyard,
Yeah.
we would go to a real graveyard, and all the graves would have fallen in.
Right.
So it was very uneven ground.
Yeah.
And you like with vampire rising out of the graveyard, but like James rises out of the graveyard. Take 5. Let's do it again. We're losing light. I'm like, see, I don't know what to do. You know.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard.
I'm gonna get an audience picture.
At least both of you are still alive.
We're still
Yeah.
Do you want us to pose?
Be natural.
Oh, come
I
on.
don't do natural.
Strike a pose.
Nothing too.
Can I post these on Instagram? Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Because all of you look great anyway.
Well, I finally have clean clothes, so I feel better.
I do too.
Thank you. Everybody keeps asking, "Where's your shirt?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" Well, the shirt that you had for the last 10 days. They still have it.
So wasn't Supernatural like the nicest set you've ever
Dude.
done in your life?
Jared and Jensen and the
freaking
crew. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
They spoiled the shit out of me. I mean, when I got to work. Well, when I did There Will Be Blood, and I did Family Matters, where I'm sitting in this kind of cage, kind of like Hannibal Lecter, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the first time you see it. You know?
I love that episode.
Yeah, and in fact, it just reran. When I got to work, everyone said, "Oh man, you're gonna love this show. They know what they're doing. Everyone's very nice." And I've been on other shows where it was like, "Okay, number 1 and number 2 and number 3 won't really say hi to me today."
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll just do my work, just hit my fucking marks and go home. These guys were like, "Hey man, nice to meet you."
Yeah. Super.
They see it as family as well, don't they?
Yeah.
I've heard. I'll ask him that later.
You did the whole thing that my mom does. Yeah, the finger wag.
Control her. I know that you talked about being kind of pranked with, toyed with on the set.
Yeah.
Just, and maybe you might
Yeah,
have
did
to
they
tell
prank
that
you?
story because some people might know it, but
Not
and he might not know it. But I'm wondering if Rick, you had anything like that.
Did you get pranked?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What happened?
They in my close-up, I finally, because I only had one scene with them, and in my close-up, I felt a little something in between my legs, and I looked down, and I don't know if it was Jared or Jared, or which one it was, but one of them had taken off their shoes.
Oh my God.
And
You did the whole Daryl Hannah thing.
And then I finished the take, and I finished the take, and the director didn't see what was going on because he's watching the monitor. He's like, "Okay, move on," and they just kind of went, "Whoa! You didn't break. That's awesome!" And that takes on the show.
So who did it, Jared?
I don't remember one of them.
Okay.
It's all a blur. I got
Yeah.
freaking molested, so I don't know. It's associated with it.
Yeah, that's a great prank.
That's great.
That's a great. I wish something like that would happen. No, you know
Well,
what?
you know,
I did. There's time.
Give it
Well, I did Family Matters, and then I had like a year and a half, and then I was doing other jobs, and then I did the next episode at the end of season 7 called There Will Be Blood, where they have to get the Alpha Vamp's blood and the bone of the fallen and all these things, so they can kill Dick Rumble. you know, which I thought was too easy, but you know, it's like peekaboo. Like, you know, it was like too easy. Oh, I could have done that. Give me some fucking Borax and I can do it too.
Because he brought back babies.
I know. It was like peekaboo. So, a season of trying to bring this guy down. It comes down to that. You know? Yeah. But so it was a rainy day in Vancouver, as it almost always is. And you guys have been to Vancouver before? Yeah. So it rains a lot, and I love Vancouver. I think it's a gorgeous place, and it's my favorite place to work. But I remember the teamster was driving me to set, and it was raining, and not heavy, but maybe a light rain. And we pull up to the studio lot, and there's nobody around. I figure, everyone's on the soundstage, except this one guy who is maybe, I don't know, 60 yards away, and he's riding this little tiny mini bike, you know. Then he starts approaching the van, and it's Jared. like he knew I was coming, so like he was like, and Jared, you know, Jared's a giant, you know, he's like a Viking. He pulls up to the van. I get out, and he says, "Man, it's so good to see you again." And I said, "Oh, these guys are gonna spoil me, God." I
So
don't
did you
normally
get
this,
on the
you know?
bike then? Did you get on the bike with him then?
No, I didn't. He pulled up and he said, "Good to see you again." And
And
then
took off?
he had just he and his wife just had their first child,
Oh.
Colton.
Colton.
Yeah, and he showed me the pictures of the baby, and he was a young, proud dad, you know. And I was like, and you guys don't know, a lot of people don't know, I worked with Jared and Jensen before Supernatural. I worked with Jared on a pilot that nobody ever saw because it didn't get picked up. It was in 2003, I think, and it was called Silent Witness, and it was about a medical examiner in Chicago.
Oh, is that like the US version of the UK?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And Jared was this gangly, tall, skinny kid, and he was really shy and quiet. And so he was one of the high school kids. And we never had a scene together, but I just remember I just kind of looked at him a couple of times, and he was very polite. And flash forward to 17 years later, he's a man, and he has just like he's a man, he has a child, and he's on this starring in Supernatural. Jensen and I did an episode of Dark Angel in like 2001.
I remember that one.
It was the very last episode of Dark Angel, and it was getting ready to get pulled. So they brought in James Cameron was one of the exec producers. So James Cameron directed the last episode. That was the big deal, you know. And what was supposed to be like, you know, typical 8-day shoot turned into like 19 days.
That show is why I didn't get a Spike TV show. So thank you so much. Because Eliza decided she wanted to work with James Cameron rather than do Spike and Faith.
Oh my
We're
God.
going to do it, and she decided, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, they pulled the plug on the show. Yeah. And Jensen and we didn't have any scenes. I just kept seeing him on set. So, you know, and then naturally, I liked it.
Was James Cameron cool to work with, or was he a fanatic?
I heard all the horror stories.
Yeah.
I heard all of them. Oh, a lot of them. And someone said, just be ready, because he's a screamer. And I found him to be actually the direct opposite. I thought he was cool as hell. Like, he was like, hey man, thanks for doing this.
That's
I'm
what
like,
I hear that if you know it, if you bring it and you know your lines,
exactly,
and you're willing to like be uncomfortable and not whine and everything, it's
right.
all good.
All
but if
good.
you pull any shit, he's just like, yeah. That I would love to work.
Yeah. I thought he was really charming. He's totally the kind of guy he'll take the A camera operators. He'll take the camera from A camera operator and he'll just do it.
Or he'll
himself.
like pull a flag if he has to.
You like this, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, this is the Titanic, James Cameron. You know, and I remember he came up to me when I got to set and he starts adjusting my tie and making sure my gun is right. And, you know, like he's like, you know, when you pull a gun, you know, make sure when we have a flashlight, it's like this. And I said, why? He says, because if you lose your gun, you can hit somebody with a flashlight. You know, like he knows all this shit.
Didn't he used to do set deck or something
like
that? Yeah. So he's all about that.
He's all about all of that. Yeah.
I love that. I used to have a theater company, and I would do, build props, sell tickets, I would do all of this. So I dig on that.
The complete filmmaker.
Like, that's not my department. It's not his thing.
And it makes you a better actor, right? It made me a better actor watching him do all this stuff because of, like, he has an appreciation for everything. Yeah. Usually I come to work, like I used to come to work and I'd be like, I know my lines, I'm ready, blah, blah, blah. And I would be, as kind and as polite as possible, but initially I didn't take a lot of time to learn everyone's job. And now I do. I know like everyone's job. And I try to learn everyone's name, but it's so hard.
Do you know what Seth Green taught me a great trick, which I have never used? But and you know what? You can't do it anymore because there's no Polaroids on the set. But
Yeah.
back when there were Polaroids,
Yeah.
he had everyone take a Polaroid of themselves,
Right.
and then he wrote their name on the bottom of the Polaroid,
Oh, that's
and he
great.
had it in his trailer.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
They gave him his trailer one day, and it's just like it looked kind of. He kind of looked like a murderer because like oh my victim, like. But I knew that they were alive and everything is okay. So, but that's how he did it, and I thought that was really smart. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do that, dude. Yeah. I mean, we have the
Let's get a
advantage in
Polaroid
that, like,
camera.
yeah, let's find a Polaroid camera first.
Yeah.
That was back in the day before digital cameras came out, don't you know? That's a long time ago. Very, very long time ago.
Anybody else?
Let's
I don't
talk
know,
to you
keep
guys.
talking, I find that very entertaining.
I have a
You did?
question now.
Yes.
I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time. Star Trek.
Yes.